Speaking of lead scorers, the Hawks are closing in on making Quin Snyder their next head coach. Now, Snyder in 2014 spent a year with the team before being hired by the Jazz on Mike Budenholzer's staff. And it's weird to me. I look at teams like the 76ers, even the Nuggets this year if they underperform at Michael Malone's job, and I see a lot of really appealing job opportunities coming around the next year. And Snyder took a shot by closing in on this deal with the Hawks. It's not official yet. And I look at this Atlanta team, and to be honest with you, Trae Young would be one of the last superstars I would want to coach. Now, one thing that Snyder loved to do, he placed an emphasis on, was pull-up three-point shooting. Trae Young loves doing that. And for a Hawks team that's underperformed on both sides of the ball, Snyder was a guy in Utah who always maximized his personnel to make them top 10 in those two sides of the floor. I want to get your spin on it, Jay Ray. You talked about Trae Young. Do you think this can kind of move the needle here in a Western or an Eastern Conference that is tightly contested?
Move the needle for the Hawks to get in? No, not at
What
all.
about playoff years?
My stance still it stays the same on how I view the Hawks. And I think I said it last episode about Trae Young and his style of play. You need one, if there's a coach out there that's willing to actually take on this opportunity, sure. But I don't know if Trae Young is the most coachable athlete in the world. I think there's while fantastic scorer he is, and yeah, he can light up a box score. He's also at the same reason why they're not at the peak of their powers. He's also the same thing holding them back. So I love Trae Young. I think he's a fantastic athlete. Is he a one? No. Is he a 1B? No. He's a two. You got to have him. You need another superstar there in Atlanta. Atlanta's not moving anywhere until they find that.
I like how you say it. You say Atlanta. I like that, Justin. Say Atlanta.
Atlanta.
I say Atlanta.
It's a former cyberbullying.
I'm from Connecticut. I don't pronounce my T's, guys. I'm sorry. I don't pronounce the T's. We don't got time for them. They just get in the way. Yeah.
So it's Brady?
Huh? No, not no. If it's the first letter, John, we're not barbarians. In terms of the Quin Snyder move, yeah, I mean, I agree with Justin. It doesn't change the move the needle or anything. Their problem is. I know I just repeated myself twice, but it's what it is. They don't. Trae Young is, he's not a number one, but he acts like a number one because he's got the ball in his hand majority of the game. They don't got the necessary support system to make that team a contender. They had their window, they had their moment in the sun, and their 15 minutes of fame, and it was up.
I still have no idea how the 76ers lost that playoff series, but guys, Quin Snyder is an excellent head coach in the regular season.
Well,
he is one of the best at maximizing his teams, but there was a component to the Jazz where emotionally that team broke down at the end, and Quin Snyder did not do a good job with that component. I think for the Hawks, though, you just need a good head coach, and Nate McMillan was below league average. Lloyd Pierce was not the ideal guy to lead a young team, but now Snyder, you get somebody that built the Jazz team out from the gutter. They were a 20-some-odd win team when he got there. And by the time he left, they were one of the few teams on a 6-year playoff streak that's going to end the season. So I think Snyder doesn't get enough respect. The concern I have with him, like Mike Budenholzer, is that his teams always overemphasize the regular season, and that comes back to bite them in the playoffs when they don't have the lineup versatility and they can't go with different types of schemes. Rudy Gobert gets put off the floor. What do? You throw Hassan Whiteside in there? No, it's not going to fix anything. You need some sort of backup big that can be versatile. And I do think with the Hawks, he gets a little bit more versatility because they have a young team. And yeah, Conwu, young backup big, it's really good. Maybe he can start down the line. And also AJ Griffin plus Sadiq Bey, who they brought in, they'll probably have to pay him a lot of money.
What was he on the coaching staff prior to the hiring or no?
So Snyder was not, but he was, 9 years ago.
See, I find that, I don't know about you guys, I find that kind of strange. You're bringing a totally new head coach that in mid-season, right after the All-Star break, and
we're still not sure yet if he's going to come in. I would think he should, so that way he knows what he's got this all season.
Okay, because if it's bringing him in the middle of the season, changing an entire system like that, that's kind of, I don't know. I'm not too fond of that. If it was if it's an off-season move, he's coming in next season, sure, fine. But to jump in now, I don't know.
The deal could be finalized as soon as today. I agree with you. If you're going to throw in a head coach, a third one in the middle of the season, that's what the Kings did with George Karl. and Ty Corbin plus who was the other coach? Michael Malone back in the day. Throwing 3 different head coaches in the payroll, or technically 2, because one was the interim. That's a little bit too much for one season. But the Hawks year's already a wash. Let's be honest; they're not going nowhere.